I have been doing life experiments for years now.
Living without a phone for 1 week.
My 30-day YouTube challenge.
I'm going full fucking carnivore.
But only recently I realized that all of the things I've learned from those experiments and the habits I've built really stick. So I do all of the heavy lifting, but do not reap the benefits. And this is exactly why in this video, we're talking about the concept of deciding once and doing forever. Hello, my name is Renat and welcome to the Lifestyle Engineering YouTube channel, where we talk about how to set up your environment so it works for you and helps you accomplish your biggest dreams. And now you might be thinking, why do this in the first place? Why make a decision for life when you can make millions of decisions every day? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. You want to reduce your cognitive load. You can think about it as your RAM in the computer. So you have a limited number of things you can store in your head. Those are the things that you think about when you're taking a shower, when you're taking a walk. So if your brain is cluttered with all of the thoughts, what you want to eat for breakfast, where you want to hang out, if you want to move to another location, take a vacation, you name it. If you spend all of that background processing power on things that do not matter, well, guess what? First, you're not going to be present, which sucks. And second, you cannot direct that extra mental power, that extra RAM, into things that actually matter. And finally, it's plain and simple. It's going to save you tons of time. The earlier you make a decision, the less time you will spend thinking about something as opposed to doing it, and the faster you will get the desired result. So all in all, reducing cognitive load, focusing on things that matter, and saving real solid time, that's it. There are three types of decisions that you can make. First, you can eliminate something entirely. Let's take drinking, for example, and let's for a second forget that it's bad for you. So drinking usually happens in the evenings, and you tend to stay until really late. So it's likely if you go out drinking, you will be going back home really late. It's called the social jet lag, and plus your sleeping cycle will be completely messed up because your body is focusing on getting the alcohol out of your system instead of recovering fully to be fresh in the morning. And as a lifestyle engineer, you're probably thinking, I can probably optimize drinking. You can set up an alarm to leave the bar earlier, or you might be drinking an extra bit of water, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, the discipline and the amount of effort and mental power it requires is just not worth it. Delegating drinking doesn't really make sense, and systematizing it is probably not a good idea. So you might as well just cut it out entirely. One decision for life. And if you take a step back and look at all of the behaviors that do not really serve you and decide to eliminate them, your life is going to change forever. The second type of a decision you can make is just a simple decision. You make that decision once and you don't have to flip-flop around and keep thinking about it. For example, you might want to break up with a friend where the relationship doesn't serve you, move to another city, transition a job, you name it. Once you make that decision and commit to it, you can now spend all of your energy into the actual execution and figuring out how to make it work. Finally, the third decision type is optimization decisions. Those are the hardest ones. What behaviors do you want to commit to so that they serve you and serve your big goal? For example, those can be habits such as waking up at 6 a.m. every morning, intermittent fasting, or working out. If you make those optimization decisions and commit to them, they become a part of your identity. And probably the best way to commit to something is to write it down. No, you don't need to sign any contract with me. But I have an awesome Notion template for you to check out. It's called the Decision Log. You can find a link to duplicate it in the description of this video. And let's check out the Notion template. So I've come up with some ideas for you to think about. We have different ideas right there. So there's the decision name, such as waking up before 7 a.m. or doing intermittent fasting. Those are optimization type decisions. You can break up with a toxic friend, or for example, move to another city. That's a singular decision that you can make. And obviously, it's fundamental to know why you're making that decision. If you do not know your why, then it will never be really a non-negotiable. Threats are the circumstances, the environment, and the things that work against your decision. If you write them down, you'll be able to spot them quicker. And there's some things that you can do to prevent those threats from happening. I call this section anti-fragile. Let's take a look at the decision to wake up before 7 a.m., for example. We want to avoid evening distractions, so if we go to sleep early, then they will just not fit anywhere in the schedule. And then there comes a threat. In my life, I usually try to come up with a justification. When I stayed up until super late, why not to wake up at 7? Oh, I will only have 5 hours of sleep and I will not be productive. And that's fine, because you should have some consequences of not going going to bed early. So not going to bed early means that you're going to have a shitty day next day, but it's going to be a forcing function for you to stick to the habit and to actually wake up earlier. And this is the story we tell ourselves to become anti-fragile. All right, let's collapse that. And what you can do is you can look at this list of ideas or create your own one. And if you like something like this one, let's change the status to habit building. Habit building, here we have a board and there are different statuses for every decision that you make. For singular decisions, you can just automatically make a decision and move it to complete. For example, if you made a decision. If you're thinking about doing something and if you're not exactly sure if you want to start a new habit or if it's going to be in the back burner, you can just move it to ready. For example, intermittent fasting, I want to start doing it, but I'm not ready to do it right now because I'm working on 5 other things. So it can be in the ready column. And when you're ready to build a habit, again, for 30 days, you practice, say, intermittent fasting. And then when you have done this for 30 days, it becomes your identity. It's no longer an effort to keep practicing it. It's just who you are. And now let's put these learnings into practice. So let's go ahead and duplicate this template. And the first question I have for you is, what are the high value activities that will drive you towards your goal? Write down at least 5. Then the second question is, what stands in the way? Those are the things that we want to eliminate. What is the waste that drives you away from what you want? Question number 3 is about singular decisions. What are the things that you think about in the shower or when you're commuting, walking somewhere? Write those down. And finally, what do you need to do more of to hit your goals in lifestyle, relationships, or business? This is obviously an optimization type of decision we're going to be making. So write those down in Notion. You're probably going to have around 15 to 20, and then pick 5. You're not allowed to pick more than 5 things at once to work on. And if you're really feeling inspired, pick one decision that you just made and make a commitment by posting it in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. And since we're already sharing, my recent commitment is to do quarterly reflection trips for life. Those reflection trips are a forcing function for me to work in cycles, to sprint and then recover, to work as a lion. To learn more about them, make sure to watch this video next.